what struck me in this moment was Drake pivoting and focusing on his core and focusing on Toronto and focusing on a sound that is uniquely their own and something that's uniquely their own in a time when probably the expectation was for him to try to, chase this moment. But he was like, no, I'm gonna focus on this thing that is uniquely mine and my universe and my team. And I think that's dope, and I think it's going to hopefully bode well for him in the long run. All right, here we go. It's Rap Life Review. We are back. We got Eddie in LA, we got Low, we got Nadeska, I'm Ebro in New York City, and we got a lot to talk about this week, including a lot of new music. Gucci Mane with a single, DaBaby and Young Miami with a single, Tootsie Back Outside, Sleepy Hollow from Brooklyn got a record, Jack Harlow still swinging. The very Prego, congratulations, by the way, Coi Leray with an EP, What Happened to Forever. West Side Gun dropped an album. Shout out to the whole Griselda family. And the one everybody's talking about, you can't get away from it. PARTYNEXTDOOR and Drizzy Drake, some sexy songs for you, dropped on Valentine's Day. That is topic number one.
Are we going straight into it?
Well, let me say this. Things that aren't on here, Reasonable Doubt inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and also, I don't know if y'all saw Sean Carter released a statement the frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed.
From 1-800-LAWYER.
Yeah, this 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind a Jane Doe, and when they quickly realize that it was a money grab that they were going to fail, they walk away with no repercussions. The system has failed, Hove said in a written statement. The court must protect victims, of course, while with the same ethical responsibility, the courts must protect the innocent from being accused without a shred of evidence. May the truth prevail for all victims and those falsely accused equally. I just want to point out, with everything going on in the world, I know it's a lot, but the way the allegations got covered is not how the dismissal of the lawsuit is being covered. Did you even see this?
I did see it, but to your point, I think when the allegations dropped, it was all over the headlines, right? I think the family was out at a premiere, and that's what people were talking about. And I imagine that must have been traumatizing just for his kids. Like, Beyonce's a grown woman, I'm sure she can handle it, but for the kids, that's tough. So yeah, for this to be just like a subhead somewhere lost on the internet is definitely unfortunate. So I'm glad that you're pointing this out.
Now, All-Star Weekend, shout out to the Bay Area, E40, Too Short, Saweetie, all the basketball players from the Bay, and all my family and friends in the Bay had the NBA All-Star Weekend out there. So I just want to salute y'all. It looked great on television. I have my issues with the many things about All-Star and basketball. They got to get this shit back on the rails, guys.
What
are we doing? What was the game?
I was so confused. I was on the phone talking to this little shorty, like half watching the game, and she was like, why is there 3 teams? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I turned it on. It wasn't 3 teams.
It was 4 teams.
Going to 40,
Playing
and I'm like,
40.
So it was like the Rising Stars, the Global Stars, the OGs. I think there was another team. They were coached by Shaq, Candace Parker.
So it was confusing, but this was TNT's last year cover, I guess, holding the All-Star game. So this was Shaq, Ernie, Kenny,
their
and
last
that
hurrah.
Crew last time covering.
And that's their last season too.
And it's their last season, but I think they're getting picked up by ESPN.
I think so.
I'm not sure. I don't know all the parameters.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was not what you want.
I mean,
there was one shining star this weekend, though.
All right.
Who was that?
Jello. Yeah, guys.
He need a little bit more practice, but I see the progression in his performance.
Wait, I didn't see it. Put me on.
So he performed. What's the song called?
Tweaker.
He performed Tweaker at the opening of.
Did Wayne come out? Wayne's on the remix.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
No Wayne.
Yeah, he performed Saturday night. Saturday night, right?
Something like that. But look, man, football games. He came up to like the Lions game in the playoffs.
That's why Detroit lost.
So I asked you a very direct question. I said, "How was it?" And I haven't heard.
No, he's getting better, but I just don't think it was needed. But it's NBA All-Star. He's I guess
don't think
former
it was needed. What does that
player.
mean? It was a big record.
Is it?
Yeah,
Tweaker.
It was a thing.
Tweaker.
Yeah, it died out. Did it? Yeah.
He got Lil Wayne. He got Lil Wayne on it.
That died out.
Hey, man. Throw my BBB shirt on. Let's do this, man. I see you, LeVar Ball.
Congratulations to Joe for getting that look, but the record died out. It's time for
It's tough. Listen, whether you got a profile or not, I think we could all agree, and we've seen this a lot, whether you're known or not, it's still tough
to maintain
be a new artist.
Yes, and to maintain a
artist.
record.
And so when you have a song that instantly goes viral and has all of this, to even be thrown in these scenarios, it's gonna be hard for anybody. Like I don't, you know.
And I'm sure he wasn't not trained, but I'm sure he wasn't prepared for this instant superstardom. So we got to cut him some slack. I'll throw him some bill.
I think what y'all say, yo, Jello, B, you gotta go on tour, B.
That's the last thing.
You gotta go do 200 seat venues. You gotta get your live set together.
That's the last thing.
You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do this rap shit, you gotta do this rap shit.
You gotta practice first.
You're trying to cut corners, man. You're going straight to the NBA All-Star game. What we talking about?
Do they really got to do that now?
I need to see Jello at SOBs. You know what I mean? Sell out SOBs.
He already doing Rolling Loud, man.
He's already Rolling Loud.
But that's his point. That's too soon.
Yeah, I forgot.
Wait, he's already on Rolling Loud?
Which one?
Yeah.
They just announced the lineup today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's on Rolling Loud. Like
He's on Rolling Loud.
They don't got to do this no more, dog. Like, this is what it is. You get famous, you performing. Boom.
Boom, done. No development.
And as fast as you climb, as fast as you fall.
I hope he got his set together, bro.
What set? He
How many
got
other
one
songs
song.
does he have? Oh.
Yeah,
Tweaker. Maybe by the time Rolling Loud happens, he'll have an album
full set
out. Or
that-
he got
full
two
album
songs.
that he's
Maybe
ready
he
to
gon'
perform.
That's a big
maybe he gon' listen. Maybe
that's a big ass
maybe it's
gamble.
old school. Like if he got a dope DJ, he warms up. He starts like, let me help you out, Jello. You warm up. You start with like a little 30-second of Tweaker, and the crowd's going crazy. Then you throw on another break beat or something that goes with it. Got a dope DJ. Bust a freestyle.
Wow.
Then come out of that freestyle.
You setting this man up for
Come out of that freestyle with another new song. Yo, check out my new record, because the freestyle over a familiar beat might get the crowd going. You bring them in, boom, hit them with a new song, okay? Run that. Then maybe do a little call and response, something that's familiar. Then maybe do that thing where artists jump around on stage to like their favorite song in the moment or like some classic.
We
done already made just set 12 minutes.
So wait, let me ask
you try
you
to
this.
set somebody up for a freestyle, shit goes left.
No. I'm 12 minutes in now. And by 12 minutes in, boom, you get to Tweaker.
Well, you say you started off with
Tweaker hook.
That was a
Because the hook is the part. It was a teaser in the
Okay.
beginning just to get him going.
Okay, I got you.
Then you come back and you hit the Tweaker hook.
Do you do the full song or no?
No, just the hook.
Just the hook, all right.
Just the hook, because you can run that for like
30
3
seconds?
minutes.
Oh, just the hook.
Yeah, because Rolling Loud, they just jumping.
No, this is just Roots picking.
Oh, it's Root.
What?
No, you said Rolling Loud.
It's Rolling Loud?
No, it's Rolling Loud. Then we jump.
Rolling
Look,
Loud
help
makes
me
sense,
out.
makes sense,
Eddie, you
makes
not with
sense.
this set?
Bro, this set is out of 1996. They don't got to do that no more.
Have you ever seen that happen at Summer Jam?
Listen,
Yeah.
all you got to
okay.
do
That's
is
why that makes
play
sense.
your song, and then your song does all the work for you, and he can periodically say
Yeah, but
a
how
word
do you
here and there.
stretch? But was he going to play the same song for 12 minutes?
He got 2 songs. He got Tweaker,
He got
and he got
one
Tweaker with
song,
Lil
bro.
Wayne.
He got one song.
2 Tweakers.
He could run it back like 3
He
times.
got one song.
That is the thing.
Given the audience, and this is no disrespect to
See,
the
I'm
audience.
trying to help him build a career. Y'all just
You're
trying to help
doing
him
too
get through
much.
Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
Rolling Loud kind of calls for him.
I'm trying to help him actually have
Yeah.
a sustainable touring life.
He could do Tweaker for like 3 minutes at Rolling Loud. Their attention span is just not there, so they're not even gonna
Man.
know it's the same song.
Man, he bring out his brothers.
To
It's
do what?
on. Just to be there.
Listen, we
you
need
said that
Lonzo. Yo, Zo, no jumping, bro. Stay healthy, bro, because you know
But
he's just coming
he
back.
wrote the record too.
Who?
Lonzo,
What record?
Tweaker.
Oh, he wrote it?
Yeah, he has writing
'Cause
credit on
I
it.
think technically it's not Jello song. Isn't it like all 3 of their songs?
Well,
or
when the
something?
song first came
Yeah, I
out, it
think
said
Lonzo
the
has-
Ball Brothers.
Yeah, Lonzo.
Then
yeah.
it switched to Jello.
Yo, because the other 2 got stuff to do. They,
Yeah, like
they gotta
actual
play-
careers.
Yeah, they got
Nah,
stuff
see,
to do.
I didn't know y'all was being shady, bro. All right,
Congrats.
let's get into Party Next Door and Drake. Collab album, some sexy songs for you, dropped on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I think it was a great opportunity for Drake to drop. The moment was hot, and he stepped right into the flames. Look, if we out here, Drake's one of them guys. He doesn't. Clearly, we've been telling him, or you have on this program for years. Maybe go away for a little while. That's not what he wants to do. He wants to stay engaged. He wants to stay competitive. He put out this album. The thing this is my whole thing on the album, because I've never been into this sound. Right? But there are a couple songs on the album that I like. But there's a specific sound that Drake and that scene has developed for this kind of underground R&B, emo, I guess, I don't know what vibey
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They specifically on Apple Music put up a whole little statement. I don't know if you guys saw it.
But like under the album description?
Yeah, under the album description, where it said, sexy songs for you, 74 personal minutes by PARTYNEXTDOOR and Drake for the city of Toronto, for Canada, and for the world that has tuned into this sound of ours from time. OVO, O Farina. I don't know what that means. And then it says, quote, maybe it was karma that caused the reversal in my luck and family fortunes.
What
it's
is that
clearly
little
heartfelt,
thing?
but what struck me in this moment was Drake pivoting and focusing on his core and focusing on Toronto and focusing on a sound that is uniquely their own and something that's uniquely their own in a time when probably the expectation was for him to try to, you know, chase this moment. But he was like, no, I'm gonna focus on this thing that is uniquely mine and my universe and my team. And I think that's dope. And I think it's going to hopefully bode well for him in the long run. Now, if everybody's looking for the chart competition and all those other things, that's going to be whatever it's going to be. But I think for this moment, for Drake to say, you know what's important to me? This thing that we built, that's ours, that's my city, and that's my fans. I think that's really dope.
This is for the core fan base. This is for the people that like to sing those songs. It came out during a big holiday, Valentine's Day. You really just pivoted away from everything and anyone else that was a distraction.
Change the conversation.
You changed the conversation on your own. And then now you might have potentially another #1 album. Even if it doesn't chart as high as he usually does, you're still competing. And everybody said, oh, he went away, he's gonna die off, and this, that, and third. It's like, no, this is his soft spot. Creatively, I'm not sure it pushed boundaries or pushed envelopes or, I don't think it needed to do that.
But I think that's why they put this thing up here, right? That's why this is here. Right? Like, this is clearly saying that's not what we trying to do.
No, I get it. I get it. But just as people who critique music and love to listen to music and love to judge things, like those conversations are gonna be had.
1,000%. I think he knows that. Nadeska, you look like I was indicting you by asking you what this meant or something. Like, you was like, you don't have no opinion? Like, I wasn't trying to put you on blast. I was actually looking for somebody with a logical perspective. He was like, what you want? She was like, go ahead.
The fuck, I don't know.
Yo, you read it with so much authority. I didn't know what I should add. I mean, I feel like Lo has a better perspective on this. So I've been a Drake fan for a long time. I've never really loved the singing Drake as much as everybody else has. So the opening is just him doing his singing Drake. It's not really for me. So I listened to it. There are a few songs that I like. It's not my favorite. I've historically liked Drake and Party collaborations, but I tried with this album. Maybe I need to give it some more time, but it's not my favorite.
Right.
But I agree with what you guys said about him pivoting. And I mean, I still think that since he waited so long for a Drake and Party album, they could have maybe waited a little bit longer. Does tying it to Valentine's Day really make a big difference? For the room,
it helps it land a little bit smoother, a little bit easier.
It kind of gives it. Look, I'm a big believer that music has is a tool, it's a function. Like, people use it as a utility, right? Like, you have music you work out to, you got music you ride to. When you're on vacation, you have music. You have
with your girl, with your fellas.
I think that creating this album and putting it out on Valentine's Day and looking for a moment that made sense to make it kind of tie it all together, I think is useful.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't think that's a bad move, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't know. I think this is a good pivot for Drake. You know what I'm saying? I think, look, it was a lot went viral this week when I was, there was a clip of me moving around. And in that clip, I was talking about really specifically how materialism, toxicity, dysfunction, and these things that we embrace in hip hop culture and just chasing charts and capitalism is something that all the artists that we've ever loved in this, well, not all, but many in this game have had to deal with, right? And I think that, you know, and by the way, all of us that are chasing money and, you know, success in some regard, this sickness of capitalism and materialism affects all of us. And we all deal with it at different times, right? And in different ways, right? I think that's why people didn't really love Mr. Morale that much, right? It's a heavy listen and it's somebody dealing with their sickness.
And we talked about it on the show, like us actually having to listen to that and look in the mirror ourselves and have to acknowledge the shit that he's talking about.
Right.
So that's not too far-fetched from people dealing with their own
But
shit.
as you mature as a human being, you have to deal with the inflictions that were kind of programmed into you from your parents, from your environment, your value systems, the things that you thought were important versus the things you discovered that were really important. And that's why I'm bringing it back around, you know, to Drake pivoting and saying, here's what's really important to me and my friends, right? Like, you know, this sound that we created, this thing that we have established is really important, and I want to make sure I shine a light on this moment right? And really uplift my city, our sound, this thing that we did.
But speaking of the pivot, so we know he's also going to go on to headline the Wireless Festival in the UK. We could talk about that. That's pretty dope. He's obviously still a huge artist and has a huge audience, but I wonder for him, since there's been so much noise on the internet, and I'm sure that's a bit jarring at some point, like you don't know what's what, it's just a lot of talking. Maybe it would also be cool for him to do very small, intimate shows. Like small enough where they kind of take your phone away kind of thing. You know how comedians go out? Like I saw Chris Rock once at Comedy Cellar pop in at midnight and like test out some shows and like feel out the audience. Maybe it would be nice for him to have like some more intimate connections with his fans because he's always doing big shows.
But I think that's what he's done. And I don't know if these are like, you know, initial shows or like just with intent, but he's been on the road, you know, when he's in Sydney, whatever.
But when I
like,
see those,
they're doing those little
but those
small.
Are those small? I still see pretty big crowds.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
know what you mean.
I think he's doing both. He's done his tours. There's been big concerts.
Yeah.
And then I did see video of him doing some little album release,
Yeah, like they've been doing like little venues, like, you know, they're singing like the smaller hits, like him and Party, or he did, I think when he first got out to Melbourne, whatever, they were doing those a couple nights. And I looked at him like, well, why is he doing that? But to your point, that kind of reestablishes the connection. It's like almost 100 gigs things, but in performance format.
And I think it's good for him too, and not just for the fans.
Yeah.
You know what it sounds like to me? Y'all doing a lot of dancing. Y'all talking about a lot of like Drake strategy and this was good and this was that.
How we dancing?
Do y'all like the album? Does anybody like the album?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I like some stuff on the album. I think I'll say this. I think it's too many songs.
One.
Okay.
Right? I
Let's
think
get
it's too
into
many
it.
songs. And I was looking for, and I've listened to the album 3 times. I was looking for the Caribbean vibe bop in there that him and Party gave us a couple of times, like with a little, and he tapped into he tried to do a little Spanish thing. I haven't seen a lot of positive feedback on that.
Things.
To meet the pod.
Yeah, on that record. But I was looking for some of that, like, you know, kind of Caribbean R&B bop.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nokia. Nokia's
fire.
Nokia's fire. Like that's the one.
I like Give Me a Hug.
I like Give Me a Hug too.
Give Me a Hug.
There was a lot of jokes about Give Me a Hug, but look, man.
I like it.
Well, I mean, listen.
You know why.
Listen, based on everything that's going on, it was a layup. The jokes wrote themselves on Give Me a Hug.
At the end of the day, like we're all talking about these other things when it comes to Drake, but if we're just talking about the music, right? Just the music aspect of it. If we're being realistic, over the last few albums, and we can only judge you off your past bodies of work. And Drake, we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of what?
If you're reading this.
Yeah. Maybe his best album. For me, nothing was the same as my favorite Drake album. Like, we have these lofty expectations of Drake's music because of the body of work that he's given us. And unfortunately for a lot of us, his last few albums haven't necessarily been great. There's always there's 5 or 6 songs you like.
They're highlights.
But when you have 21 tracks, and this is a highly anticipated project you've been promoting and teasing and putting out there in podcasts and everything, there's a certain expectation we have. And whether it's fair or not, because everything that's going on with Drake over the last year, we're waiting to look at this project like, this is the thing we love about Drake. I don't necessarily love R&B Drake like that. Like, I miss singing. Like, give me, like, people that used to be in church singing. That's not what Drake's going to give you. But when you get 21 albums and then everyone's leaving like, I like 7, I like 5, I like 8, that's kind of a miss.
Like, T-Pain brought up a great point. He was like, and this is him not hating, he was like, it sounds like these songs didn't make previous Drake albums. When you listen to him, it's like, he's not far off about that.
There's a 5-song run on the album, I forgot which point it was, where you were getting like a whole bunch of different, like at the beginning it was one sound, and then somewhere in like the late end, you got like 5 different kind of sounds, and I'm not saying you can't do that, but it kind of lost a little bit of cohesion. So if we're just talking about the music and not strategy and everything else, it was cool. But also, I'm not the biggest fan of that version of Drake, but
even more direct, all of that aside, strategy and all that, it says here who the album is for.
Not us.
Not us.
Like, and if you've never been into this, he's saying, yo, bro, this is who this is for.
Right.
Like, this is what this is about. And so there's gonna be people who ain't rocking with the whole shit.
And
there's
gonna be people who love it.
And based on the charts, there's gonna be a lot of people who are.
Yeah.
I like 5, I got 4 or 5 of them. The rest, that's, like he just said, that's for them.
Real talk, on the album, I'm gonna be real with you. I like Greedy. I like Somebody Loves Me. I like Nokia. I like Raining in Houston. I like Give Me a Hug. I like.
You don't like Mothballs?
I was going backwards. So,
okay.
I do like Mothballs, and I like Crying in Chanel.
Crying in Chanel stuff.
I like Crying in Chanel. So there's a lot on this. Some sexy songs for you, Party Next Door and Drake. If you want to listen to it, you know it's on Apple Music. So go look for it.
I just want to say something else because we've been talking about Drake a long time, and this wasn't in the write-up, but I want to shine a light on a group in hip-hop that has done exactly the things that Ebro talks about as far as integrity in the culture and putting black voices and everything that we deal with on a day-to-day basis into the music. Outkast was nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I just want to give a big shout out to Andre 3000 and Big Boy for everything they've contributed to not only just hip-hop, but to music and culture.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And on that note, you guys want to wrap the Rap Life review, or do you want to get to some comments?
I think we're good.
Yo, word on the streets is the producers of Rap Life Review are editing out the OVO fans' comments.
Oh, goodness.
Is that true?
They are not, because I look at the comments. There's OVO fans in the comments, too. What happened was, as the views started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it was a lot of Kendrick fans that got in there, so they kind of got flushed out. But in the beginning, it was a lot of Drake fans in there. That's just what happens when the algorithm does what the algorithm does.
Wow. Okay.
Shout to them.
Thanks,
Shout out to
Eddie.
all of them.
Shout out to all the people that watch.
And love to everybody that tunes in, whether you hate watch or you showing love, however you get here. We're glad we're making you feel something.
Hate watch
Eddie
is such
and
an
Low
effort.
and Nadeska, I'm Ebro, and that's the Rap Life Review. See y'all next week.
What's up? You just finished an episode of the Rap Life Review. It's 2025, so New Year means new episodes coming your way. If you want to get in the conversation, you can always drop us a comment below. And of course, you can like and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Catch us next week on a brand new episode of the Rap Life Review right here on Apple Music.